in Vietnam, broadcasting live from Brighton. Be right on in Brighton. I'm your host, Matt Taylor, broadcasting live from the edge of the UK, Brighton to be exact. It's coming up to whatever time I want it to be. And at this particular time, I want it to be 1807 on the Tuesday, 28th of February, 2023. Hope everyone's well. Big shout out to Den Lord in the chat room. First one in there. Without any further ado, let's get tonight's controversial game plan underway. The floor is open. It's now over to you. Who will have the guts to come on and speak to the most controversial figure in our crazy corner of YouTube? The one person everyone wants to see behind bars, but the one person who seems to be coming back and saying, "Suck my big dick, you motherfucking cunts." Yes, indeed, it's no holds barred. Broadcasting live from Brighton. Why the fuck should I hold back when you lousy, horrible members of the audience feel as if you can spread shitloads of lies about me? Lies ranging from Paris calling me a paedophile to Harry Munker saying I sexually molested his girlfriend, to other despicable allegations made by despicable people. You horrible little cunts. And what we've got lately, we've got another strike, haven't we? Another strike by Tony Harris. He doesn't like hearing his girlfriend having a go. But anyway, someone's at the door. We may have to say goodbye forever. Stay tuned. I might be back, but then again, I may not. It all depends on how I feel about the situation. Because I'm in control ultimately. I'm still here and you're still there. And never the twain shall meet. Here we go. If I'm back, you'll be lucky. And thank you for your patience. I was just giving Tony the heads up on the situation, which it brings us all here in this safe space. And I was just trying to introduce to Tony the what happened between Emily, Tony, myself, and Justin on one night in June last year. I'm sure there's footage of that night. If anyone is brave enough to go against the wishes of a certain couple we all love to hate. No, I'm very happy for them. I'm very happy. Finding out that Tony dresses up in a nurse's uniform was quite a revelation. As Mandy reminds us all, and as I remembered myself, the highlight of the weekend for Tony was the nurse's uniform. I don't know what mental image that makes for you, but it makes for a pretty disturbing mental image for me. So, Tony, what the hell do you think you're up to? Going around spreading lies about me. This is an opportunity for you, using the technology at your fingertips, to come on board and explain yourselves. If Tony isn't happy to come on board, that's fine. Someone else can. Have a chat with me. You know you want to. Until then, I'm going to give you approximately 29 seconds to think about it. And we're back. No takers just yet. So while you all think about it, I just want to remind you all that you're watching Matt Taylor TV live here on Snake TV. Check out Brighton 2222 Project if you haven't done so already. You can check out my other blogs at GuerrillaDemocracy.blogspot, at Taylor's News Online, at Matt Taylor Writer, all WordPresses. There's always more about Matt Taylor at Blogspot, TaylorsFreedom.home.blog. I'm sure you've all checked them out. Book yourself a seat around King Arthur's Round Table. Contact me by email. So, of course, I'm not responsible or liable, nor agree or disagree necessarily with what is being said by anyone on Snake TV. And by the looks of it, no one is saying anything. So I'm going to give you another minute to think about it. Tonight. Oh. We interrupt the proceedings for a shout out to Wanchester Sloshpot. What a name. Wanchester Sloshpot. Or even Slosh Pot. Good evening back to you. Thanks for not being shy, jumping on in and saying hi. hard to get tonight. I understand completely. You've left me with no choice but to dig in my archives for a promotional video to keep you entertained. So let me get the all sticking back over to a promotional video for your entertainment. Be sure to stay tuned. There's more Matt Taylor original content coming your way.
Okay, this is me. What am I doing? What am I doing? My best.
Yes, thank you for asking, everyone. Well, thank you for asking, not so much everyone. Den Lord. Thanks for asking, Den Lord. I've had a nice day, yes. I trust everyone has had a nice day too. Are you following the bully case, Matt? No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm thinking too many people are following it. It's great to see Brian Harvey. Is everyone enjoying Brian Harvey? Follow the bully case. I'm certainly enjoying it. And I'm enjoying everybody else kind of like following it as well. What do you think? A bit too... Let's do lo-fi. So yeah, no, I've been following it. The bully case. No, what cases have I been following? What cases are there out there? I really want to catch up with the Angela Power Disney disclosures. They look really interesting. So that's something I want to have a second look at. And then, do you know what else? Do you know what I downloaded today? I downloaded the that One More Thing from Nikki Lee and Brian Harvey. I haven't actually listened to it all the way through because I went down to Bevy that night. So that's something I'm going to listen to through again. But what I was a bit disappointed today because it may mean I may not be able to go and see Lewes play Manchester United at the Dripping Pan. It's going to be sold out. So it looks like you're going to have to be very lucky to get a ticket. And that's the 19th of March. So fingers crossed. That's my magical imaginary girlfriend's birthday weekend. Thankfully, she's busy with her family. Nice touch. But at the very least, I can go down to the Lansdowne pub over the Lansdowne Arms, I think, over the road from the Dripping Pan, and just get pissed there, mate. You know, that should be fun, shouldn't it? Either way, I'm going to join in. I think I'll be in Lewes on my magical imaginary my girlfriend's birthday weekend, which will be about Sunday the 19th. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Angie case, yeah, I can't actually, by law, I can't actually talk much about what Angie's case is. Yeah, I know. I don't please, you know. It's a long story. It's a long story which, by law, I'm not allowed to tell you about. Crazy, I know, but that's like the world we live in. Hello, I've been following that case, been watching The Armchair Detective. Oh, right. Very strange what happened to it. Oh, so has The Armchair Detective been following it too? Has he? Well, I'm going to go. I'm just going to find out. I'm going to say The Armchair. Oh, it's been quite interesting that he chose that thing to follow. That's cool. I haven't actually subscribed to him. Oh, what's that? Oh, how nice. Oh, there's an upcoming stream. Yes, I got it right the first time. So I'm going to subscribe now. I'll just show everyone what I can see. Isn't that good? So I've just subscribed. Oh, look at that. First time coming tonight. The full forensic timeline of Nicola Bulley. So this is pretty much why I haven't bothered. Great channel. Yeah, I agree, Den Lord. And thanks for sharing it. You know, if anybody else has got a really cool YouTube subscription they want to shout out, you know, please tell me, because I mean, that's an occupational hazard for me. Every time I lose a channel, I lose subscriptions. And this is one of The Armchair Detective is one of those subscriptions I've lost when losing a channel, if you know what I mean. He also has a red channel. So if I just change the blue for a red, do you think that will make a difference? Yes, it has. Well done, everyone. Aren't we clever? So we just changed red to blue. And it worked. Isn't that great? So thanks for that, everyone. So we've got a red and we have a blue. Isn't that fascinating? So any other suggestions for really cool YouTube sites? You know, tell me and we'll get them up. So why strike it now? The video has been up for ages. I know, Den Lord, because I'll tell you why. What's happened? Because of war. Because I put out yesterday, this is war. Your enemy attacks, and that's exactly what it is. And I personally, it says a lot about your enemy, the way he attacks and what weapons they use to attack you. And of course, he's weaponizing YouTube strikes. So again, a coward using, you know, gullible YouTube administrators and algorithms to, you know, to inflict damage on me. Because that's exactly what a strike does to me. Strikes equals daggers to the heart, quite frankly. Let's not beat around the bush. I'm not going to hide the words. As Tony keeps saying, I'm a writer. Yeah, and I pick my words. And when I said I honked those boobs, it means I honked them. I certainly did not put my hand down his girlfriend's top. That's a revolting thing to say, and a very serious allegation to make. Just like Helen made those frivolous and false allegations, which she had. What on earth is this woman poking her nose into my business for? Quite, but yeah, we asked the question from Den Lord, why strike it now? That video has been up for ages, and well, I can answer that straight off. He striked it because it was the first exchanges of the war of words, quite frankly. Because as a disclaimer, I do not mean any harm, distress, or fear to anyone, let alone Tony Harris. I'm purely saying this for entertainment purposes only. You know, I personally wish Tony and Emily the best of future, and may they live happily ever after. But when somebody comes on talking about an event which he wasn't present at, and which serious allegations are being made about that event, I have to get it serious, because above all else, my reputation means more to me than anything else in the whole wide world. Okay, and and I hope all of you appreciate that and take that on board. I'm very serious about my reputation. I've got a good reputation and good name, and I'm not going to do anything to jeopardize it. So when you got this individual called Tony Harris coming on a public domain and saying the most disgusting allegations against me, totally unfounded and without evidence, it is upsetting. Okay, and so with that aside, of course, everything I say, I have to put a disclaimer out there, because otherwise the police will come smashing my door down, quite frankly. That's why I have to give out a disclaimer. And so the disclaimer is, of course, I do not intend Tony Harris or Emily any harm, alarm, or distress. I'm purely responding to the very serious allegations being made against me that I sexually assaulted Emily. It's absolutely ridiculous to say such a ridiculous thing. What the question needs to be is, firstly, where did Emily expect to sleep that night when she turned up, right? And I want Emily to answer that, quite frankly, because it's Emily's boyfriend, Harry, who's bringing all this up, putting this out into the public domain. And now here I am having to talk about it, and it is embarrassing, but more importantly, it's embarrassing for Emily. And so that's why I find it so peculiar that Emily's boyfriend, Harry, is bringing this back in to the public domain and making a war out of this and getting me striked. That's inflicting wound on me, digital wounds. I have 3 strikes and a channel is gone, lost forever. Okay, so I think everyone who's listening is is conscious of the play involved at the moment, and especially with my history of losing channels. I mean, no one's been as porn bombed as me. Yeah, I'm sure other people have as well, but I've been a #1 target of Plisco for years and years and years, and I continue to be so. In fact, there was someone tried to hack my Microsoft today. Oh, it's never ending. It is never ending. So where was I? I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll give you a minute to think about it, and I'll get back to you. Big shout out to Marie. Oh, is it Mandy? Hello, Mandy. And big shout out to Bex. Great to have you all in there. It's great to have the old crowd. Hey? Yeah, remember the good old days? Remember the good old days? We just had a laugh, didn't we? We had a right laugh. We had a right giggle. Hey, Marie? Remember the days we had 31? Let's turn that around, Marie. Let's get 31. And remember you, Marie, you were going, we're going to get, oh, Mandy, sorry. Remember you say we're going to get 1,000 subscribers. I was just saying to a friend just a moment ago, you know, if without the likes of nasty old Tony Harris's and Jamie Lofthouse's and everyone else's is doing strikes against me, Plisco's come to mind, I'd be up there now. I'd be up there past the 2,000 mark, definitely. Oh God, I could only dream of the number of zeros. Only dream of the number of zeros. Yes. Saboteurs. Saboteurs. Horrible. They're jealous little wankers. That's what they are. Sorry to swear, ladies and men. So let me tell you what happened Sunday. Down at football. I was on the sideline. I said to the Dragon ladies, Cardiff City ladies, I said, we're going to thrash you. And one of the Cardiff players, she looked right at me and she went, no, you're not. And I couldn't believe she was, you know. I said, yes, we are. And well, anyway, a steward came out to me and said to me, look, let's not taunt the Cardiff ladies that Lewes are going to thrash you. I said, fine. So I can, like, you know, zipped it up a bit for the rest of the match. End of the match, we thrashed them 6-1, which was good news. And what made me laugh was in all the news reports since then, everyone is saying what a good thrashing Cardiff City had. But sadly, I don't think I'm going to make it to watch Man United because of it's going to be sold out, and you have to be very lucky to get your hands on those tickets. Yeah, I'm definitely a football hooligan, and I'm loving it. I really felt as if I was like the 12th man there, because apparently, from what I've read prior to the match or since, whatever that is, post or don't get me, was that Lewes were coming back on the back of 2 losses. And they had never progressed into the quarter-final stage or the FA Cup ever in their history. So it was a big deal. Yeah. Mandy's laughing. She appreciates it. So I definitely feel as if I am there on the 19th of March on the sideline, egging Lewes on the 19th of March, I reckon we have got a good chance of getting into the FA Cup final. Wouldn't that be amazing? It can happen. You just got to make sure I get in there. Big up the dripping pan. Says the Lancashire slosh pot. The Lancashire slosh pots. I come up to 36 minutes. Harry isn't coming in. No, but he may be working though. He may most probably will be working. But I find it very well, Harry, Harry, absolutely childish behaviour from you, as it always is. Because you're not a grown-up, quite frankly. And don't start trying to tell me what happened that night, a night in which you weren't present at. Okay, if any other further inquiries, just fucking, you know, contact Santa for all I care. Now, what I want to tell you about is the Lewes FC, right? And there's a statue at the Lewes FC. Okay. Let me find it for you. It is an absolute fascinating story. Statue Lewes FC. This is an absolutely fascinating story. Let me share the screen for you. You're going to love this one. And remember, you heard it here first. Pirate statue to be housed at Lewes Football Club's home stadium. Lewes Football Club has erected a statue of 2 trailblazing female pirates to be placed outside its home ground for the 2022-2023 season. Isn't that fantastic? Let's listen to this guy.
Today, August 24th, my name's Elliot Wright, and we start with a woman who has died after being trampled by cows in a Sussex village field.
Well, let's
say
not
that the tragedy happened
listen
yesterday
about a woman
on
that's
Brownland
been...
Road, Billinghurst, at around 11:40 a.m. A 55-year-old woman was pronounced dead at the scene. A family-run restaurant in Eastbourne Town Centre said it is closed due to personal changes within the family and staffing problems before Wednesday, August.
Oh god, that guy was doing my head in. So the 8 feet high statue called Inexorable is of an 18th century woman, Anne, Bonnie and Mary Read. Anne, Bonnie and Mary Read. I tell you, there's going to be it's definitely a movie can be made about these. We'll come back to them. Isn't that fascinating, eh? So look, the artwork is intended to represent each woman's elemental personality and demonstrates a partnership of 2 strong, independent, rebellious women. Sculptor Amanda Cotton said, Anne and Mary should live somewhere where they should be appreciated and celebrated. Inexorable stands for the idea that you can live free and without constraint. And the piece should serve as a reminder, that you can live authentically as yourself, exactly as Anne and Mary did. I'd love Anne and Mary to be as famous as their male counterparts and bring inspiration to all. For these reasons, I'm delighted that for a season, they will stay at the Dipping Pan in Lewes, watching the only fairly resourced professional women and men football. I'll say that again. Watching the only fairly resourced professional women and men club footballers in the world play. That's a mouthful, isn't it? But basically, they're saying Lewes are the only equal professional women and men football club in the whole world. It's a match made in heaven. Back in the 18th century, both Anne and Mary had to dress as men to escape poverty in the UK and join a pirate ship, something barred to them as women. What a story. Come on, that's Hollywood calling. That's a Hollywood script there, straight away. Back in the 18th century, both Anne and Marie had to dress as men to escape poverty in the UK and join a pirate ship, something barred to them as women. The statue was initially designed to be in Devon, but was rejected by a local council, allowing Lewes FC house the statue at the Dripping Pan. There it is. Can you see it well enough? There we go. Isn't that like ghosts as well? Isn't it? They're like the ghosts. Oh, that's really quite beautiful, isn't it? Anne and Mary. Anne and Mary meet in the 21st century, looking back at two figures from the 18th century. It is rather beautiful, isn't it? Yes, I agree. Lewes FC director Karen Dobries commented, "We're honoured that inexorable, what is inexorable actually? Inexorable, thank you, Tony, with an I. Inexorable, impossible to stomp or prevent, inexorable, everyone. I hope you get your tongue around that. Inexorable." Lewes director Karen said, "We're honoured that Inexorable will overlook our pitch, standing proudly by our old flint wall in the Mountfield Road. As pioneers of gender equality in football, known for our radical stance on smashing gender stereotypes, we hope our community will be inspired by this incredible work of art. We're grateful to Amanda for so powerfully drawing attention to these women's stories, and to the Chalk Cliff Trust for funding the transportation of Inexorable to the pan. We think Anne and Mary will feel very much at home in the town of Lewes, and people will be able to come and see the statue on match days and open days." Lewes FC women started the new championship season with a 0-0 draw at Birmingham City. So let's look at these ladies here. There we go. So, perhaps there has already been a movie about them, dressed up as men. A tale of two lively lassies. Hark, come hither, come down here, I say. For a true story to tell, I'll tell it my way. 'Bout two lassie pirates that bound up their breasts to pass as a mate, they will rival the best. Anne Bonny was born to her father, and maid astonished the wife, and vowed they must pay. For sins of her husband they constantly quarrelled, so he pulled up his stakes, lock, stock and barrel. He took the fair lassie, his maid and his wealth, hit the high seas for Anne's better health. For sickly she was as a child, they say. She was vicious and mean, and she spat every day. For Caroline he thought he'd have better luck, so he brought a plantation, and there Anna was stuck. For she hated her mother, her new place of being. Anna stabbed mother's belly, and she was only 13. Big shout out to Katie in the chat room. She knew what she wanted. Anyway, that's a lovely story here. I'm going to have to come back to that story. But there's definitely a massive story. There is a massive story. Absolute rubbish. Evening to you. Oh, was that Sloshy? That's that Grobnob, I reckon, wasn't it? Grobnob. And there's only one wanker. And that's me. So, where are we? Isn't that fascinating? That was a lovely statue. It was like capturing those two ghosts in time. So, what a fascinating story. I'm just wonder maybe if there is a story about them already. Anne Bonny and Mary Reed. Don't be shy. Come on in and say hi. Well, look, they're saying let's. Ooh. Oh, come on. Let's just watch this for a moment, Jay. I don't care if we get struck. Well, of course I care. Right, hope everyone's well. Matt, be careful with your words. Oh, God, am I getting threatened again? Trust you're okay. Talking about someone stabbing someone in the belly and saying a lovely story. Yeah, just catching you live. Hello. So what we're going to do, let's stop the music, even though it's lovely. And let's go over and watch. Let's watch this quickly.
Say hello to the first ever Google.
Let's watch this. This is a nice quick one. When the adverts are finished, of course. Oh, la-di-da-di-da. Big shout out to everyone in the chat room.
Sir, I'll hear them again.
My lord, His Majesty's court contends that the defendants, Mary Reed and Anne Bonny, did piratically, feloniously, and in an hostile manner attack, engage, and take 7 certain fishing boats. Secondly, this court contends that the defendants lurked upon the high seas and did set upon, shoot at, and take 2 certain merchant sloops, thus putting the captains and their crews in corporeal fear of their lives.
You, Mary Reed and Anne Bonny, are to go from hence to the place from whence you came, and from thence to the place of execution, where you shall be severally hanged by the neck, till you are severally dead, dead, dead!
Oh, right.
May God in his infinite mercy be merciful to each of your souls!
We're pregnant!
Good looking.
Do you all hear that?
What the devil did she say?
They plead their bellies, my lord.
Aye, you can't hang a woman quick with child, can ye?
No, that was a loophole back in the day. Back in the day.
If what you claim is true, then your executions will be stayed, but only until your terms are up.
Then I'll be up the duff the next time you come knocking.
Remove them!
Oh man, I say let's get onto Hollywood and gets this done. Alex, and let's watch another one. It's 20 minutes, mate. 24 minutes. I don't mind if you don't mind.
With the bellowing cannon fire, roaring oceans, slashing sabers, barking pistols, and countless bottles of rum, pirates of the 18th century still dominate our imaginations. Despite this, and despite the fact that we all sort of know what a pirate roughly looks like, there's a key difference between pirates and other icons of the past. Be they medieval knights in armor or masked and cloaked highway robbers, these figures are almost always men. That is not so with pirates. There exists alongside that bearded image of the grizzled sailor another image, that of the daring, beautiful, ferocious seafaring woman. But why have pirates, more so than other figures of history, escaped this male domination in our minds? Well, most of that is down to 2 incredible women, Anne Bonny and Mary Reed, the most famous and feared pirate women of the age. First written about in the anonymously published 1724 book, A General History of Pirates, a source for much of our series on pirates during this era, the stories of these 2 women shocked the world then, as they still do today. Anne and Mary each lived fascinating lives of daring, danger, and passion. Littered with incredible similarities, these 2 women's fates aligned, joining them together across vast distances as crew members, close friends, and perhaps even as lovers. In a story that still makes them famous to this day, Anne Bonny and Mary Read overcame setback after setback before ultimately meeting a tragic end. This is the story of two of the most famous pirates to ever sail the seas. This is the story of the two most famous women of the golden age of sail. The story of Anne Bonny and Mary Read. This is Wars of the World.
War of the World, isn't that interesting? Why don't they bring War of the World in? Shout out to Katie.
Building your
and everyone,
business
jump on
online?
in. Say hi, don't be shy.
Go to
Jump on in and
Wix.com
say hi.
and get your site up and running.
Don't be shy, jump on in and say hi. But anyway, yeah, so that's we might watch it too much. You know what they're like with copyright strikes and all that jazz. And all that jazz. I do like a nice background. Should we choose an... Oh, what do you think of this? Can you see it or not? No. No, you can't see the background. Okay, fair enough. Oh, let's get the music. Background music. Always nice. Let's see what you're saying, everyone. Having a listen while she's having a coffee. Oh, go back to the film, maybe. Yeah, why not? Why not? Why not, I say? Why not?
Let's begin our tale with Anne first. Born Anne Cormack in Kinsale County, Cork, Ireland, Anne's life did not get off to a stable start. She was the illegitimate daughter of a servant and her employer's husband, a lawyer named William Cormack. This rather unscrupulous man, while living with his wealthy wife at her country estate in Ireland, got Anne's mother pregnant. He moved to London with the child to gain some distance from his wife and her family. It was here Anne's father began dressing her up as a boy, masquerading her as his legitimate son in order to gain money from his wife. To complete this elaborate hoax, he had Anne act like a boy too, even educating her on subjects usually deemed unnecessary for girls of the age to learn. This bizarre arrangement did not work for long, with the father's wife eventually catching on to this deceit and cutting off the money. With no allowance from his rich ex-wife and no customers coming to his now disgraced legal practice, Anne's father emigrated to the New World, settling down in the province of Carolina. Bonnie Anne arrived with him, but settle she did not. With her father moving into the slave-owning plantation business and her mother passing away when she was only 12, Anne had a lot going on around her. She dealt with that in her own way. Known for her fiery temper, Anne stabbed a servant girl when she was only 13, perhaps even to death. When one pushy suitor refused to stop pursuing her, Anne beat him up, nearly killing the man. She would have had to know how to handle herself. That's because Anne was also known for her fiery red hair and eye-catching good looks, something that earned her the attention of many men in the boom town that was 1700s Charleston. She did not always mind this attention. Known to frequent the taverns and inns along the waterside, Anne learnt of the power she held over men. Oddly enough, for a man who'd slept with his wife's servant girl, Anne's father took an excessively stern view on this extramarital activity. That all changed when Anne married a sailor and small-time pirate, James Bonny. Her father refused to recognize the marriage, and the two ran off together. Some claim that Anne's fiery temper lit up at this, resulting in the young woman setting her father's plantation alight and burning it to the ground, just on the eve of her departure, never to return. No records exist to verify this story, but it is in keeping with what we do know about Anne. In either case, she would not be returning to Carolina anytime soon. She had other plans entirely. Sometime between 1714 and 1718, Anne and her new husband moved to Nassau on New Providence Island. Now I can understand what you're thinking. Forbidden love followed by a quick getaway to the Bahamas sounds like the dream. Well, I'm afraid you'll have to think again. Although today about half of the economy of the Bahamas comes from tourism, the only people arriving to Nassau at that time were pirates. And they were not known for their appreciation of unspoiled beaches, clear waters, and tropical wildlife. No, in the pirates' sanctuary of Nassau, the chief activities available were making money quick and spending it even quicker. Drunken debauchery and outright lawlessness defined this pirates' republic. Turns out, Anne Bonny would fit right in. Frequenting taverns and bars at the docks, Anne relived much of what she loved most about Carolina, knocking shoulders, among other things, with cutthroats and scallywags. With her husband now working as an informant, paid by the English governor to hunt down criminals, Anne being so, shall we say, intimate with pirates was professionally embarrassing, as well as personally painful. The history of pirates puts it politely, saying Anne was, quote, not altogether reserved in point of chastity. The same 1724 publication notes that, on one occasion, Anne's husband surprised her lying in a hammock with another man. Despite the perfect honeymoon settings, it is pretty fair to say that the marriage of James Bonny and Anne was not going altogether well. It so happens that one of Anne's intimate acquaintances was none other than John Rackham, the infamous pirate captain who would lead a mutiny against the cutthroat Captain Charles Vane. Known as Calico Jack on account of his garish clothing, this man and Anne became so enamored with one another they began to plan a life together. You may remember Calico Jack. We've met him before, in our previous video, on the deadliest pirates of the era, Blackbeard and Charles Vane. We'll soon hear the end of his story. But first, back to Anne Bonny. If she and Calico Jack were to build a future together, Anne's current husband presented an obstacle. Calico Jack, being the decent sort, at least for a pirate, decided to do the honourable thing. Instead of just killing Anne's husband and running off with her, he decided to offer the man money in exchange for the two divorcing. As far as pirates go, this is extraordinarily gentlemanly. James Bonny refused, however, and so when Calico Jack set sail with his crew of cutthroats, Anne decided to go with him and leave her husband behind regardless. One can only imagine what her father would have thought if he had known. Now, whatever a pirate ship might be, it was certainly not a place you wanted to be if you were a woman and obvious about it. At sea for months at a time, desperate men lived below decks in cramped, unsanitary conditions. They often had little to pass the time beyond the drudgery of their work and the sweaty release of cheap alcohol. As criminals outside of the law, often growing up in especially cruel circumstances, such sailors were not known for their self-control, respect for women, or sense of human decency. Accordingly, Anne disguised herself when she went on board. No man knowing of her true identity other than Calico Jack himself. Fortunately, in her case, she had years of practice passing herself off as a man. She must have been convincing, for none uncovered her secret. Anne's demeanour must have been a big part in this. Upon joining the ship, she was said to have stabbed one crew member through the heart when he continually quarrelled with her. Anne wore the attire of a man, a sword hitched by her side, a loose tunic and wide trousers, a brace of pistols tucked into a sash, a small cap covering long hair. Participating directly in a number of boarding actions, fighting in person with the rest of her crew, pistol in hand, Anne proved she was as good a pirate as any man time after time. It was around this era she met another incredible woman, Mary Read, but more on that encounter later. Anne and her lover Calico Jack lived the true pirate's life, with all the drunken adventuring, tedious boredom, and boiled turtle meat that it entailed. But it was not to last. When Anne fell pregnant, her womanhood could no longer be disguised. She temporarily split ways with Jack, giving birth to a son while on the island of Cuba before promptly rejoining the ship. In hindsight, Anne should have chosen to settle down. Moments of enjoyments were still to be had, notably a wedding ceremony at sea, uniting John Rackham and Anne Bonny in marriage, if not by law and if not by God, then by themselves. But in October of 1720, the crew was sentenced by the governor to be hanged to death. Revealing her true identity as a woman, Anne was able to escape the death sentence temporarily through a grimly named practice known as pleading the belly. Under such legal precedent, women sentenced to death but pregnant were allowed to give birth before being punished. Anne did just this, claiming, truly or otherwise, to be pregnant. She remained in prison. The rest of the crew, including Anne's lover, Captain Calico Jack, were less lucky, being taken to the gallows on November the 18th and hanged. Allowed to see Jack once before his sentence, Anne's last words to the man were not kind. Had you fought like a man, you need not have been hanged like a dog. It seems she blamed much of what happened on her captain and lover, Calico Jack, the father of her son and future corpse, hanging from the end of a rope. Imprisoned and all alone, Anne's prospects look bleak. Unfortunately, this is where the trail of evidence runs thin. We know for certain that Anne was not executed, but that really is all we do know. Did she survive imprisonment? Did she have another child? Was she ever reunited with her other son, her ex-husband, or her father? All of this remains a mystery. Perhaps
a mystery lost in time. Yeah, what a fascinating story that is. So I'll share that if anyone wants to learn more about Anne and Mary. You know where to go to. Hey, listen, I've been babbling on for an hour. I'm going to give you a minute to think about jumping on board. Otherwise, I'm ready to say good night and farewell. Oh, big shout out to Unlisted. That's what you get when you're a Satanist. You are a miserable old git. But anyway. I've forgotten what to say. Isn't that strange? Yeah, that Unlisted. He does he is like a spanner in the works, isn't he? He's like the spanner in the works. That's okay. If nobody wants to come in and say hi, that's fine. That's fine. I totally get it. I mean, you know, there's a lot of people I don't want to come in and say hi. I get it. I get it. What can I... Let me see if I can... If I've got any promotional videos I can play you. I know what we'll do. Let's play you. I know what I'll do.
as a little Brucey's bonus for you, I will play you the 6 goals. 6 goals from... I will play you the 6 goals. Lewis's thrashing. Just had to address the stalkers. All right, okay. Hi, what's going on, says Brian. Well, Unlisted just came in. Katie says, just had to address the stalkers. What I want to do, everyone, is just play you. It's only 8 minutes. Hey, you don't mind 8 minutes? It's be cool. Let's... Oh, someone. I got someone. Oh, no, I'm not having him. I'm not having Lucifer come in. Let's have 8 minutes of some fantastic goals. You'll love it. Oh, where's oh yeah. Okay, bear with me. Here it is. Bear with. All right. Bear with me, I say. Bear with me. Not having him. No, I'm not having you. I'm not having you on board, Lucifer. You're a horrible troll of mine. So let's have some fantastic goals, shall we? Be good. So, no, I'm not having that.
Loose there, but Barton deals with it well and just plays it back to a goalkeeper who will play it to Stobbs. Nice pass to Hazard, who's in a pocket of space here. She then tries feeding a ball down that right-hand side to Ellie Mason, but's unable to keep it under a spell. Piggott just trying to keep it in from that ball from O'Sullivan, but Hazard gets on the end of that. Now it looks like it could turn into an opportunity here down this right-hand side. Here's McKenna, takes it past Piggott well. Good run there from McKenna as she's in the box. Here's Mason, 1-0! 5 minutes gone and Ellie Mason with the volley.
Yeah, she got the 4. And that was 100.
Lights the touch paper for this afternoon's FA Cup affair.
Lovely, look.
Great run from Rebecca McKenna, taking it past Libby Piggott.
She's done another one.
And Mason in the right place at the right time. Thumps it home. 1-0 Lewes. So it'll be Nat Johnson with the delivery.
That's the bar in there.
Ball in from Johnson. Good height. Gets on the head of Mason. O'Sullivan doesn't catch it. Gets on the head of Ellie Mason. It looked like it was begging to be tapped home. Stobbs gets on the end of that though. Good from Amber Keegan Stobbs. Nice quick passing, but just lacking a bit of precision. McKenna up against Scahill. Howes with a lovely turn and tackle there. She goes alone over the goal. Good opportunity there from Paula Howes as she made it herself. Sullivan with the kick upfield. Williams going in for it, both Corey and Laura. Bit of push and shove going on, but Emma Thompson will try and feed another pass through to Mason. 2-0! Ellie Mason loves scoring in this competition. She gets another brace today. Good ball from Emma Thompson to feed through Ellie Mason.
Cardiff didn't really have any shots on goal as well.
Throws it out to Stobbs. Mason, lovely toe poke out to McKenna. She's on course for a hat-trick, but here's Rebecca McKenna in the meantime. Will she go alone? She does! Hits the side netting. Really good run there down this right-hand side from Rebecca McKenna. Laid off from Mason. Back to Williams with the hoof ball up to that right side. Comes off the head of Johnson. Now Ellie Mason finds herself in possession. Good ball in from Ellie Mason. Emma Thompson gets something on that. She just clips it with a
could have been
side
4-0
foot.
by now.
Hits the frame of the post and just out. Unfortunate there from Emma Thompson to get herself into that positive position. She looks to break through.
But I was
good
there,
defending there from Stobbs. Now Lewes looked to break with Paula Howes at the heart of it. She's up against Isaac. She'll feed a nice ball out to Mason on that far left side. Emma Thompson's in the box. Hazard's approaching too.
So what is
Back to
line
Johnson. Wardlaw will run onto that pass. Good control there
try
from Wardlaw. She finds a really nice ball through to Hazard. She plays it across goal. Thompson's there. So's McKenna. Surely! What a save. It was straight at her. O'Sullivan had to be alert.
Well,
White House.
Something about the owners' club. I think you've got
Johnson just taking it in stride is Ellie Mason.
Of
Good run here from Amelia Hazard, just like the last one we saw about a moment ago, but didn't really have the execution. Mason with the venomous strike just inside the area, looking for a hat-trick. Goes over. Unlucky to be ruled out, but Cardiff have been good defensively. And that's it. She looks to try and get something onto it. What a goal that is!
Yeah.
Ingrid
That was
Ardland
theirs, so that was quite
with a
good one as
strike
well,
from about 30, 35 yards.
That was a smashing
Goes
goal.
over
Yeah,
the top
I enjoyed
of
that.
Sophie Whitehouse. And that really does spice things up as we go into this half-time break. They've halved the deficit. What a strike that is from Ingrid Ardland. Looks up, sees Whitehouse off her goal line. Here's Weir. Barton running down that left-hand side. Pulls up against her, but Barton goes in field. She threads a nice ball out to Ellie Mason. She strikes it hard and low.
And she was
just
a
past the far
substitute,
post.
No, not her.
And serves
No,
for a
that's
hat-trick.
Again.
Hazard with the ball in. Plenty of power on that. Stubbs gets something onto it. Mason does.
Love
it's
it.
in the back of
Oh,
the net,
no.
but the flag is raised for offside, which denies Ellie Mason her hat-trick. Paula Howes just putting the ball back on the spot. Playing it short to Mason.
would have been, wouldn't it?
Howes on
Yeah.
the other end. She gets it to Howes. Howes picks it up on the edge of
This
the box. Lays off Barton with a long shot. Just wide. So close from Kirsty Barton.
It's good. It's really
Rather
fun.
than have a nervy
I may go
final
there tomorrow night.
10 or so minutes if they're just leading by the one goal. Ellie Mason
Then
trying to get
again,
in behind and use her
crossing
body
with a
well.
pop.
Here's Ellie Mason. Can she get a hat-trick? Yes, she
that's
can! Very deserved for Ellie Mason, who's been peppering the girls since she scored her brace.
And her
And
100th
she reinstalls the two-goal lead for Lewes.
I'd obviously moved by
Player.
that.
Oh, wow, and it does test Sophie Whitehouse. Good ball in from Hazard.
Oh, no.
Mason looking for a fourth. What a fourth that would have been on the volley, just like her first. Nadia Lawrence just trying to take it past. Picked up by Corey Williams.
Yeah,
Just
it's terrible,
stuffing
isn't it? That is.
Completely mistimed there from Williams, and here comes Mushtaq with her first bit of action in a Lewes shirt.
Yeah.
Here's Amelia Hazard. Mushtaq on the overlap. Hazard looks to square it nicely to Ellie Mason. Good chest down here from Mason. She gets on her left. What a goal!
Wasn't
No
that brilliant?
celebration.
Wasn't that
It
brilliant?
really is the norm for Ellie Mason
That
this
let
afternoon
on
to
the
find the
chest.
back of the net.
Bang!
And a brilliant goal
And
to
then
top
wallop.
it off. She gets her fourth.
Oh, that's
Here's
smooth.
Dalton. Another good ball out to that far right side. Very impressive cameo appearance from Izzy Dalton this afternoon. Here's McKenna making a bursting run into the box. She cuts it back. Thompson with the flick.
And she's been doing it all
Laura
match.
O'Sullivan
I think
forced
about the
to
third
come
one
down
she's
to a
done during
near
the match,
post and make
third
the
or fourth.
save. It's a strong ball in. Gets on the head. Surely in. Doesn't go past. Oh, it does.
Yeah, it was called a goal.
Can't see who actually got it in. But Lewes have scored 5. I think it's Kenzie Weir by the look of it. It's a brilliant ball from Amelia Hazard. Plenty of pace on it. Nice there from Hazard, and she just opens up some room for McKenna to run into. That was a really nice play from Hazard. Mushtaq's there. McKenna goes alone, straight at the keeper again. Can Mushtaq get her first goal? She can! Aska Mushtaq gets on the score sheet, and just like Kenzie Weir, gets her first goal in a Lewes shirt. 6-1 Lewes. Just trying to get it past, but Stubbs picks up on that loose ball from the number 6. Good run here. Here's Hazard. Goes low. and then hits the keeper's, stings the palms of O'Sullivan, who pushes it onto the crossbar. And that is full time. A brilliant performance from Lewes FC. Cardiff were fighting throughout the whole game. In the first half as well, their stubborn defence made it difficult for Scott Boo's team to open them up. However, it was Ellie Mason who scored 4 alongside 2 first goals for Asker Mushtaq and Kenzie Weir, meaning Lewes finished the game 6-1 winners after an Ingrid Ardland goal from long range.
Brilliant. And I do hasten to add that was Ellie's 100th professional appearance. Isn't that fantastic? Hey, listen, unwanted smells. Not very nice. So, hope everyone's well. We're going to wrap it up, everyone. We're going to wrap it up. Oh, yeah, she got a hat trick. She got 4 goals. 4 goals in all. Oh no, we're not going to have you in, Lucifer, because just because. Oh, it becomes a hindrance after a while, doesn't it? So everyone, thanks ever so much for joining me. It was nice of you. Shout out to everyone who were brave enough to jump on in and say hi. Katie, Brian, Den Lord, Becky. Good to have you back with us, Becky. Lucifer, I'm not interested in anything you have to say because I don't mix with undesirables. I don't mix with undesirables, quite frankly. Oh, Lucifer, can you see it? Enjoy the rest of the evening. Yes, thank you ever so much. Den Lord, Becky. Can you see poor old, sad, pathetic Lucifer, so desperate for attention? Go away, demon. So we're gonna wrap it up at 1 hour 20 minutes. Oh, Lucifer, go away, you irritant. We'll do some countdown music. Until the next time, everyone, remember King Arthur loves you as I love you too. Hey, Lucifer, go away, demon. Be gone with you. Be gone.